Today's piece is Lomond by James M. Creed. This is a piece for variable instrumentation, and it's a single chord. Uh, uh, I guess the notes would be G, C, D, E, F, and A. And then there's this text, which is sort of like instructions on how to perform it or not perform it. One thing I really like about this piece is it's like got a ton of performances on different instruments, so it's a really good example of variable instrumentation as a sort of genre. There's a piano version, an electronics version, you could say. Um, there's a version for mixed virtual ensemble, and then a version for electric guitar, version for flute, bass clarinet, two pianos, violin, and viola and vibraphone, and then a version for reed organ. Mind you, three of these are the composer playing. Um, and then, yeah, I guess there's another planned version here. So the text reads, see, this is just this song folded up together into a neat parcel. It's a letter fashioned into its own envelope. All of it is still in there, it's just pocket-sized now. Not that it was all that big before. People have been carrying it around for years, of course. Really, I've done nothing at all worth talking about, just a little folding up. I should probably say that it'll sound a bit different, though, but I suppose you can see that already. You might have to listen carefully for a while, but that's a nice way to listen, isn't it? I think so, at least. It'll take a bit of patience, and then you might hear it, or you might not. Or you might find something else instead. But that would be just as good, wouldn't it? The only other thing I'll say, though, I'm not sure what I should, is that it's not really a chord. It's just some notes happening together. It's the song on pause and play at the same time. I'm not sure that made sense. All I mean is that it's not so much about balancing them as letting them balance themselves, or letting them not balance themselves. It's about being careful, but not because it's fragile. The opposite, I suppose. Maybe I've said too much, or maybe I just haven't said anything useful. Well, either way, here it is. Feel free to ignore all of this. I think I'm just going to listen to the versions on this album, South Cote, which we've been listening to the past couple of episodes. I've heard the reed organ version before, and I think possibly the piano version before, but this is the piano version and the electronics version. So, link to both is in the video description. I encourage you to listen to them, and yeah, I'll let you know what I think of these. And hopefully, this is inspiring for you as either a composer or a performer to do similar kinds of work. Um, yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on these two recordings. I don't see any sense in pulling up the score or anything, but yeah, I thought they were sort of like, I mean, it was the composer interpreting it both times, so it was sort of like almost a bit of a guide on how to interpret it from the composer, I felt. Um, the electronics version was sort of just like sine tones all the way through, but actually the silence at the end was quite powerful, I felt. And then the piano version, I liked how for the most part he was repeating the chord, and sometimes one or two notes would be played on their own after. And of course, like every time you play that chord, there's going to be some notes that are louder, some notes that are quieter, so makes you kind of aware of the physicality of the of playing. And I don't know if it's really about that though, based on like some of Creed's scores that we've looked at. I think he's more interested in like the performer's experience, what's going on in their head, and the practice of listening. So in that sense, like I wasn't really sure what to get out of a recording of this. I think a better experience would just be to go play it myself. Um, but yeah, so it's like, what do you do with the interpretation or recording? Is it more just like a record of something that happened or a memory? It brings up a lot of interesting questions, which other pieces, more conventional pieces, don't really make you think about. So I think that was a good one to end on, by James M. Creed. Those are all the scores of his that I can find recordings for, but I downloaded a ton of other ones. So yeah, we won't be really getting to those. I think tomorrow I'm going to look at another Michael Winter piece. This one is not it's not like going to be completely open instrumentation, but sort of like for guitarist and accompaniment. So like the accompaniment is more variable, but like guitar and sustaining instruments kind of thing. And yeah, that sort of will get us into the 2019 sort of area, I think, after that, and we'll keep working our way backwards.